I want to commend to you a book, an ebook, that was released on Amazon by Endeavor Press. It is entitled Something to Be Brave For. It is written by Priscilla Bennett. The website is priscillabennett.com. Priscilla Bennett is a retired emergency room nurse who for years saw firsthand the effects of domestic violence, typically seen involving women, typically, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's exclusive. But I want you to go and I want you to buy this and I want you to read this. And it's very, very important because portions of the sales go to the National Network to End Domestic Violence. PriscillaBennett.com has a series of resources for you. And it's something that we don't really talk about a lot. You know, the last time I heard somebody talk about this, it was during Big Little Lies. There was a show that just ended, and people were talking about domestic violence. I'm thinking that's fine, but that's artistic and it's important. You always hear about these statistics that, you know, during the Super Bowl, the number of domestic violence calls are up, and then that's it. I mean, that's it. You also hear about horrible cases, horrible murders and honor killings and acid scarrings in other countries, and that's terrible too. But that's it. But in this country, in your town, down the street, in the apartment next door, who knows, there is an epidemic, a pandemic of domestic violence that does not get the attention. It still is covered, unfortunately, at least in some people's eyes, as being subject of stigma. I don't know why, but it is. And as an ex-prosecutor, I can tell you that people would oftentimes have the police called, women for the most part. They would immediately then try to drop charges because they felt that they had to do it to protect their family, protect the children, protect their livelihood, protect their living. They felt that if they were to ask the husband to leave, what about the kids? The psychological, the sociological, the emotional harm. People also don't realize that a state or a city or a commonwealth, they bring the criminal charges against a defendant, namely as I said, for the most part, not exclusively, but for the most part, the violent spouse. And they're the ones who get to drop the charges. They're the ones who are the victim. It's the state, the commonwealth, the town, the government. It's the state of New York, the state of Florida, the state of Indiana versus. So when women will go, sometimes they'll be met with, at least in the old days, sometimes a less than caring, sad to say, prosecutor who would sometimes deny them the right, or it's not really a right, it's not a correct term, but the opportunity. And then, over a period of time, people started realizing that's not the way you do it. This isn't a lawsuit. This isn't the usual. This is a case that cries out for resources, where women need to be counseled. Are you okay? Where will you stay tonight? Do you need any money? Do you have any help, any support? It's an incredibly complicated issue, an incredibly horrible issue. Another thing I found out, which amazed me, was that women who had been the victim of sexual too, but physical violence as well. And by the way, this covers a panoply of violence, sexual, physical, emotional, you name it. I don't want to be too specific. It covers an entire range, a terrible gamut and ambit of abuse. But women who had repeatedly suffered from concussions and blackouts, and who were choked, and who lost consciousness over a period of time, later on suffered accumulated neurological damage. And oftentimes, physicians were at a loss to say, did you ever sustain a concussion? Were you in an accident? Did anything happen? And women would say, no, I don't remember. And it was because of these repeated incidents. It's horrible. And what the kids see on a regular basis. Think about that. What does it do to them? And it is the perfect recruiting tool for further abuse. If this is the way you grew up, the dynamics, what a kid goes through the prism of that innocent mind of that child, that precious soul who sees this, who thinks, oh, this is the way marriage is this the way men act? Is this the way women act? I mean, it is beyond complicated. So again, the book is called Something to Be Brave For. It's by Endeavor Press. It's released on Amazon. I want you to go and just look at the website here. And also, if you need resources, if you find yourself in a position where you need to turn to somebody, go to PriscillaBennett.com. I have a link here for you to avail yourself of resources and programs and people who understand. But do not keep this quiet. Do not suck it up and be private about it. This is not your burden to bear. This is a matter of life and death. You do it for you, do it for your children, and just do what's right. And I thank you for this, okay? I thank you.